Hi, I'm Warren Sprouse. Welcome to the Bible Forum. It's Sunday, October 4th. We are about halfway through our show. I wanted to talk to you about a blog I wrote this week on my website, thebibleforum.net. We have a number of websites. This is one gets a lot of traction. But I entitled it, Stop Me If You've Heard This One. A man walks into a college classroom, lines up students against the wall, asks them what is their religion. If they answer Christian, he shoots them in the head. If they answer something else, he just simply shoots them in the leg, sometimes a couple of times. You haven't heard that one? Well, that was Chris Harper Mercer in Roseburg, Oregon, just this past week. And now we've heard of that. And this comes under the heading of just when you thought it couldn't get worse. It does. And our president is upset. He went on the air, on television, and he spent 10, 15 minutes, and he was passionate. I felt sorry for him. I agreed with him. This is horrendous. Families are in shock. Communities are distraught, frightened. And schools, they have no idea what to do. How could this happen? How could this happen in a small, tight-knit, conservative community like Roseburg? How could it happen in the United States of America? This is not the stuff of civilized nations. This is the stuff of outlaw communities, of lawless cow towns. This is the stuff of the Taliban, not Christian American schools and churches and government buildings and courtrooms. Is there no place safe? No. There's no place safe. And it's not because we let guns in. That man had not had a gun, he'd have found another way. Societies, I don't care where they are, societies are not safe when they deliberately create a social structure that is focused inward. How I feel, how I look, all about me. A society that has basically shunned God. More than just shunning him, they're in the process of outlawing him. He is now the problem. And his rules. You know the rules. One man, one wife, that's it. No divorce. That's what God says. Well, people can't do that these days. Today is October 4th, 2015. Tomorrow is the 5th. And Tuesday, my wife and I will have been married 53 years. To each other. Continuously. And neither one of us felt at any point that we wanted to put the other one in the backyard under some dirt. Neither one of us ever thought, gee, it'd be nice if we just divorced, went on our own way, we'd have nothing to fool with this. No. Why not? Well, because I'm such a nice guy. I'm the easiest guy in the world to live with. Now, I don't know about it, but no. You know better than that. Human beings are human beings. They got their own opinion. They got their own problems. They got their own flaws. It's like that. God says, get over it. Well, you don't understand. Then why did you marry this person? Remember the song? Got married in a fever. Hotter than a pepper sprout. Well, you do that, you get this. God's the problem. You get away from God, you don't have to put up with any of that nonsense. I can marry as many people as I want or not marry anybody at all. And that's the way it's going. We live in a society that doesn't want to accept that people need to live in responsible, decent sorts of ways. They can live pretty much any way they want. And it has made a bunch of psychology, psychiatrist types wealthy. They're getting wealthy over your paranoia, over somebody's idiosyncrasy running amok. I have a problem. I'm unhappy. Get happy. Life is hard, and then you die. That's it. If you're going to act irresponsibly, you're going to think irresponsibly, you're going to allow yourself to feel whatever you want to feel, whenever you want to feel it, you're going to have problems. But if you do right, you'll feel right. Well, I don't want hate mail. Doesn't factor in that there are legitimate physiological issues in people's lives, chemical imbalances and all the rest of it. But the psychological community doesn't make their money off of that. They make money off of people like you and like me that just are depressed, don't feel it. I don't understand. My husband doesn't love me anymore. My wife is a shrew. I don't know, my kids this, my kids that. Kids are what you allowed them to be. Barring chemical illness type things or damage. Gun control? Get rid of the techno gadgets. Have you seen it? If you watched sports this weekend or just the news, you saw the 6 or 8 young college girls, all of them blonde as I recall, sitting in the bleachers of a ball game, not paying the one bit of attention to anything that was going on in the field. Guy hit a 3-run whatever. They still got their phones. They're sitting there with their little gadgets and they're taking their little selfies. And did you see that? Not looking at anything. Get rid of those gadgets. Make these people talk to people. Make your children talk to you. Be home. That's what life's about. And it's the church that's pushing these agenda. And so it's the church and it's God and it's religion. All these things are the problem. But our society wants to blame the gun. Get rid of the guns, we wouldn't have that problem. How many people have you shot? I haven't shot anybody. I've thought about it. Not anybody in particular. But I've thought about what would happen if somebody came in my church and had a gun and was threatening to hurt somebody in my church. What would I do? I'd take my gun out of my pocket and I'd shoot him down like a dog right in church. What? You're a preacher. Yep. Always carried a gun. We live here in the shadow of Charleston, South Carolina. What's it called? They call it Mother Emmanuel. Emmanuel AME Church. Guy walks in, sits there for an hour, listening to the pastor talking from the Bible, praying. And at the end, he takes his gun and he shoots everybody in sight. Why? Because there wasn't anybody to stop him. Not going to happen in my church. No, it's not. But it's going to happen again until people wise up. Society's getting bad. The urge to kill comes from the human heart. People will kill with a gun if they've got it, or a knife if they don't. In Great Britain, Muslim guys took a knife and cut that soldier to pieces right there on the street. They didn't need a gun. They used roadside bombs. They used sticks, stones. People want to kill, they're going to kill. But killing comes from the desire that springs up from within you. The desire that you can be God. You have the power over life and death. And if that person offends me, they need to die. Why? Because I'm God. It's an imagined superiority over everybody else. It can be driven by anger, by pride, foolishness, corrupt or confused thinking. But whatever it is, it convinces people that they have the right, and in some cases, the responsibility to kill another human being. In the Bible, God gave a law. He gave a law to Noah after the floods, the only law he gave. We call it capital punishment today. It's God's law. If a man kills another human being, then the human beings who have the authority kill him. Why? Same reason you kill a dog if he eats a chicken. Man gets a chance to kill another human being and there's no penalty, he's likely to do it again. And if not, he'll breed. And God says no. Man is made in the image of God. God has authority over life and death. Not me, not you, not Chris Harper, Mercer. And if somebody takes another life, not in self-defense or by accident, but out of just a selfish passion, then he deserves to die. And what are we doing? We're trying to eliminate capital punishment in every state in the Union. Society needs to make a statement. This is unacceptable. When it happens, somebody's going to pay for it. And they're going to pay with their life. Now we have to do it humanely. Chris wasn't doing anything humane. But we can't execute people in a way that might, I don't know, bring pain. The French Revolution Dr. Guillotine developed a machine that would do it much more efficiently than anything we've ever found. You say, well, that hurts. How do you know? Well, it has to. Yeah. For how long? About 8 or 10 seconds. That's how long that head still has blood and oxygen and can still feel and see. But then it's over. Which is far more than these people gave their victims. The Bible gives every indication that during the Great Tribulation, that's the preferred form of capital punishment. The Bible talks about people who were murdered during the Great Tribulation for their faith, martyred. And it talks about them being under the throne, having been beheaded for the cause of Christ. Children growing up in a home with a mom and a dad that love each other, that love God, and love their children, are people who appreciate other human beings for what they're supposed to be, not what they've become. And those parents are there to train up their children in the way they should go, not let them just grow up any way they want to go. To teach them the difference between absolute right and wrong, to help them develop the skills and the talents and the resources, along with a godly commitment that will hold them in good stead as they go out and get a job and seek to make a living and provide for their families. But America hates everything about what I just said. Not you, but America does. We have redefined the family. We don't like the family the way God established it. We have redefined what it is to be a good person. We want people to have without doing anything to get it. That's unhealthy. The Bible says man won't work. Not if he can't. If he refuses to work, then you don't let him eat. You don't feed him. You don't give him your food. Well, that's terrible. Only until he gets hungry enough, and then he'll work. He'll do anything. Yeah, well, he's liable to steal. He steals, he'll be punished for that. In the old days, they put him in the stocks. How'd you like that? Stand with your head through a hole and your hands on either side, standing there bent over for 2 days. No water, no food. That had to be miserable. Nobody came back, did they? We have psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, lawyers, judges, all destined just to pick up pieces. We have religious ministers and school teachers and well-meaning grandparents and neighbors, all of these people, in one way or another, telling us that the destructive behavior of our child is really not our fault. Our whole society is built on that. Nothing's my fault. And we want to do what? Get rid of the guns. Does that make sense to you? Makes no sense to me.